Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Vale. I make sewing videos and vlogs about living abroad in Colombia, so thank you for joining me. Today we're going to do a little bit of chaotic sewing because it is just that kind of week. I wanted to do a little bit of an intro before we get started so that you know what it is that we're going to be doing together. We are going to be making the Henrietta skirt by Spaghetti Western Sewing, and I will be making a matching bodice block. They turned out really cute, so I hope you stick around to see what that turned out like. It has also been kind of a hard week. I think it's been kind of a hard week for a lot of us in the world. It's kind of a chaotic time to be alive. It's a chaotic time, you know, at work, outside of work, in our communities, in the just everything, right? And so this is just a very real sewing vlog about how you can still sort of like push yourself to create something, and how you can sort of use sewing as a way to sort of like center yourself and be more present on those days that you might be having kind of a hard time. And at the end, you'll feel a lot better, and you'll also have a cute little outfit. So I hope this inspires you all to get on that machine, to turn on the machine, to start some projects that might have been sitting by, because the more that you do things with your hands, the better that you are going to feel. All right, let's get started. Hello everyone. I am having a really shitty day today. So you know what time it is. Time to do a little bit of sewing so that I can regulate my nervous system just a little bit. But yeah, pretty shitty day. My dog got loose this morning on her walk and it was just like really scary. I'll tell you all about it. She's fine. But I just kind of felt weird and like anxious all day. And I have found that sewing is one of the few things that really makes me feel more centered and more like grounded. I think it's because I'm obviously making something with my hands, and so it's truly been like the best part of sewing for me, obviously, because you know there's a lot of like science behind it of like what I'm doing. I'm focused, I'm struggling, but feeling validated, etc. But I do find that on days where I'm like kind of maybe struggling a little bit or having like kind of a hard time or like whatever, picking up a project, especially an easy project, is super helpful for me. And so yeah, I'm excited to do that now. It's Friday after work. I'm gonna put together a little set. So this is the fabric that I'm gonna be using. It's been sitting in my stash for a while. It is sort of like this denim, very light denim, and it's got this sort of like embroidery style on the outside. So it's super cute. And again, I really want to do something easy today. So I'm going to pull the Henrietta skirt pattern by Spaghetti Western Sewing from my pattern collection. It is a tried and true. It is a workhorse. I have made this skirt like 4 times. I kind of got hyperfixated on it last summer, and I made one for my sister, whatever. So I'm going to make another one. It's actually been about like 6 months since I made one of these. The hem, for some reason, is always incorrect for me, so I'm gonna try to fix that today. I don't know what my hemming issues are, to be honest, but anyway, so we're gonna make a Henrietta skirt with this one. I haven't decided if I'm gonna do it sort of the regular Henrietta skirt way, or if I'm gonna do the sort of like Sandy Liang hack that like a lot of people do. I'll put a picture of it here, but that's okay because I have the pattern for both. I mean, it's just the same pattern pieces. I just have to kind of decide how to cut it. So I'll start thinking about it before I cut. I'm kind of leaning toward the Sandy Liang sort of version with like the little I don't know what those things are called, those little thingies. But because it's embroidered, I'm like, would that look weird? Anyways, I'll figure it out. I feel like it's gonna look cute regardless. And then I'm gonna make a matching top with whatever fabric I have left. As per usual, I have to see how much fabric I have left before I decide what top to make. But I really think I want to practice using a bodice block to sort of draft something. And I'm thinking I want to do like a really basic sort of like princess seam top, no sleeves, like just the top. I'll put a picture of sort of what I mean because it's like super basic. It's kind of the base block of a lot of different dresses and styles, etc. And in a few weeks, I want to actually make a dress that has this type of seam or this type of bodice. but I've never really practiced it. I think I made it one time using like a YouTube video. So I'm gonna start practicing that again so I can get the fit really right. So even if the fit is like a little off with this one, like it's fine, but I'll sort of use it as practice for my upcoming projects. So yeah, we're gonna make the bodice top, and then we're gonna make the Henrietta skirt. Actually, it's so interesting because I really do that a lot. I don't like to make toiles. Like I don't like to make drafts of things because I don't know, it just takes the joy of sewing out for me. It's just to make, I just get in there. I grab the fabric and I get in there. And so this is kind of like a toile in a way, because again, I'm going to be making that princess seam or princess bodice dress later. So I'm going to practice it this time. But also I'm making a Henrietta skirt because I potentially want to use this fabric behind me for a Henrietta skirt. I haven't decided yet. I have to sort of decide what pattern I want to use with this really cool fabric I have. And so I'm kind of throwing my tried and true and some new patterns through the ringer to kind of see if they're the pattern that I want to use for that. So I'm kind of like using this as an opportunity to like perfect the pattern, but also make a decision, right? Make a decision about what I want to do with this fabric that's been sitting around behind me for like months. So let's do it. I'm gonna cut out the fabric. I already have the patterns. I just have to iron them out. And then as I do that, I will tell you the story of how my crazy little dog just sent us into fight or flight mode this morning. Yeah, but it's okay. We're gonna breathe through it. Let's do it. Oh my gosh, okay, so let me tell you the story of how Whitney, my dog, got loose this morning. So she was on a walk. She goes on a walk with like a group of other dogs. It's her social hour. She's a Jack Russell Terrier, so she's like insane, like actually like crazy. But you know, these walks really help. She goes twice a day, like gets her little energy out. She gets to go out, smell, whatever. So we really love like the group of people that we work with. It's like a women-owned company. It's all women walkers. Like they're all just really great. They love these dogs. Like, but anyways, so this morning we like, you know, hand them off, and like, you know, it's been like about an hour, and usually they're back. I'm like, all right, like whatever. Sometimes they take a little longer. And then I get a call from like the head person from like the like walkers, like the dog walkers, and I'm like, this is like not good. Like this is not good. Like to get a call from like the principal, basically, it's like and the dogs are not back yet. I'm just like, my heart sank. I was like, something went wrong. Like what's up? Whatever. Answer immediately. I'm like, what happened? Like, and she's just like, Whitney got loose, and like she is like, we don't know where she is. Like we're looking for her. Like Francis, who's the person who like walks or usually walks them, is like running around, but like like she got loose like kind of in a park right up by where your building is. So could you like basically come out and come search for her? Like we're already like at this point getting dressed to run outside to look for her. We're like run outside, we're like looking for her everywhere. We can't find her. And like all in this like area is like a lot of highways, so it's like a really nice residential area, but like when you kind of leave up, there's just like a bunch of different highways. So I'm like having like really dark thoughts because she's so little and she's like crazy, right? And so she could run in front of a car. Like there's like there's like barely sidewalk, right? Like it's basically like a little bit of sidewalk and like highways, and then up there is like the park. So anyways, we're running, I'm sobbing, like fully crying, trying to get like anybody to like help. My husband has like taken off on foot, like is running like laps. And like all of the dog walkers who are in the area are like helping us. I'm talking to like all these random like dog parent strangers who are like so sweet and who are like, what does she look like? What's her name? All this different stuff. And I'm like, we were also like, by the park, there's like a little police station. So there was like all these cops like hanging out outside, like by their motorcycles. And so I'm like, what do I do? I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go ask these cops like for help. Like get on your motorcycle, let's go look for her. And then I'm like trying to explain to them, they were not like even remotely interested in entertaining the idea of helping me look for my dog. And I was just like, oh my God, of course, whatever. So then I just kept running, whatever. At that point, like, we're freaking out even more because like we haven't been able to find her. We've been like searching for like 15 minutes on foot, and we're like, okay, at this point, like if she's not here, like in this area, like we need to get back in the car. Like we need to go in the car. And so I'm like running, I don't know where Tim is at this point. He's like running around doing laps. I'm like, I'm gonna run back, I'm gonna get the car. And I get there, and as soon as I get there, like they're like the walkers were there, and they're like, she's here, like she came back, like, and then we like she had like run back to the apartment building because she knew her way.
Oh my god, my Shayla.
It was so scary, dude. Like I had the craziest thoughts, like, and then I had to just try to like comfort myself. I'm like fully crying on the street, like I don't know, I love my dog so much. And so yeah, it's just been kind of tough to like, I know she's fine, which is good, but it's just like this state of like adrenaline that's been like in my body, just because I thought that something really bad happened to her, like I don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna go get her a better leash and some air tags because I definitely will not be going through this again. But it was also like the dog wipers were so sweet that it was definitely on us. Like, you know, I feel like I didn't have like a good collar for her because she keeps like ruining her collars by like rubbing herself up on cow poop. Like I don't know what to tell you. So, but no, this is on me, and like anyways, because of that, I've had kind of a shitty day. But you know, again, we're sewing, we're getting it out of our system, and I'm already feeling a little bit better. So I'm gonna iron down the fabric that's been sitting in my closet for like 6 months, and then I'm gonna cut. I've decided in this thinking, in this talking, that I'm actually going to be doing the Sandy Liang kind of hack. So I'm gonna cut out those pieces, and I've already marked them, so I'll show you. It's actually kind of insane how crazy my hair looks today. But again, been a bad day, like I don't. Okay, so these are all the pieces that usually come with the Henrietta. Let me just make sure you can actually see those. Okay, cool. So it usually comes with this like little side skirt yoke, and that's kind of like the little piece that goes on the side. And then it comes with the side skirt gather, which you usually would do and gather like in that little, you would gather it and put it there because this gets cut in a fold. So you would gather it and put it inside a little thing, and you need 2 of those. But I'm gonna be doing this hack so that I can make it look like, again, that Sandy Liang Inspo. So I don't know who originated this hack, but the way that it kind of works is that you probably want to size down because you want to make it like a little bit smaller than your actual size. So I just kind of went through and traced out a smaller side yoke. And I have that one here. And again, I did this last time. This is not like something I'm doing now, but I made a smaller side skirt yoke, and I'm going to cut 4 of these. So instead of cutting 2, I'm going to cut 4 because the yoke's going to go all the way around. So yeah, we're going to cut 4 of these. And then this little piece right here, which is the center panel, usually would go in the center of the skirt. I'm just going to fold apart. I'm going to fold it and just kind of move it aside because we're not going to be using that piece. So what I'm going to use instead is my side skirt gather piece, which is this piece right here. And this piece, I'm going to cut out 4 as well. So I'm cutting out 4 of these side skirt gather pieces, and I'm going to use 4 of these side skirt yokes. This does mean that I end up using a little bit more fabric, you know, than the original piece, but it looks really cute, so we're just gonna make it work. Make it work. I'm gonna be so brave today and use my cutting scissors, my fabric scissors, instead of my rotary cutter because I've been really messing up with my rotary cutter. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I'm gonna be brave today. We're gonna use our fabric scissors to get a more precise cut in the name of caring about the details because they matter. Details are important. Okay, so I don't know if you were able to tell when I was trying to cut the fabric, but I actually realized I didn't have quite enough for the 4 side yoke gathered longer pieces, side skirt pieces. But it's okay, I didn't freak out, right? Like, this is gonna be fun. So I ended up just cutting two smaller, so it's not just, it's a little bit smaller than the other pieces, and I do need to sew it down the middle so that I can connect it as one piece. The other ones are cut on the fold. That's okay because this is all gonna get gathered anyway, and I'll just kind of put that one toward the back, and it will again gather, and it's got the stitching in it already, so like I think it's gonna camouflage really well. So I'm gonna sew that down and serge it, and then press it so that it's just like one full piece, and then I'll be able to sort of like really start the sewing. All right, welcome back. It is another day in the workroom, and I'm feeling much better. I actually didn't end up doing much more sewing than what I did on Friday. I also didn't have my microphone on, so I was doing great. I was having a great day. But I am glad that I got started. I did end up feeling a little bit better after doing all that prep. I ended up just moving my afternoon into more big thinking sewing plans. I ended up doing some sketching and some cool fun stuff like that. So I was still sort of in the sewing space. But I didn't do much more sewing than that this weekend. I just kind of took it easy, and I had to do some errands and stuff like that. However, actually, no, I did do some sewing. I ended up hunting down, or like really tracking down some harnesses for my dogs so that they wouldn't, get lost again. And I couldn't find any that had sort of like little slots for air tags, because I was like, okay, I'm gonna put an air tag on this dog, like that's it. And there were some like online retailers in Colombia that do that. But then I was like, why am I gonna, then I was just like clicked, I was like searching, and I was like, why would I pay more to like have that when I sew, like I could make that myself. So I ended up going to get some harnesses, and then I spent a little bit of time, actually it was pretty quick, just like kind of seam ripping a part of the harness, like kind of in the padding area, and just like stuck an air tag in there and then sewed everything back up. So it looked really neat, and now my dogs are being tracked. I'm tracking my dogs like the government, or, like a parent that cares very much. So anyways, I did do a little bit of sewing. Actually, they look so cute. I'll show you a picture. They were out in the little harnesses, the two of them today, and I felt, much more safe, and it was great. So in better spirits, all of us are in better spirits today. I went through and I finished this panel here, which it was like those two pieces of fabrics that I couldn't fit one last skirt panel in the fabric because I didn't have enough fabric. So I had to sort of Frankenstein one panel together. But again, I'm like not worried about it. I think first of all, it came out really clean. I ironed it, serged it. But also this is gonna gather up, right? So this is all gonna gather up, and I don't think you're even gonna be able to see it. So yeah, feel good about that. So if you're feeling like, oh, I don't know if I have enough fabric to do this skirt, it's very forgiving. Like there's definitely a lot of different ways to kind of make this work. I've seen some people even cut down the fabric that they've used for the skirt in half. Obviously with the yoke you really can't, but for the skirt panels, because they didn't have enough fabric, and it still looked really good. So all right, order of operations. What do I have to do today? Today I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to start by putting the gathering stitches on all of these skirt panels. So there's 4 of these skirt panels. It's going to be one on like a 4 panel skirt, and they all need to be gathered because the yoke is slightly smaller than the size of the skirt panel, right? So we have to gather it so it fits each of the yokes, and then I'm going to connect each skirt panel to a side of the yoke, and we'll do that later. But the first thing is putting in the gathering stitches, then gathering the side panel skirts and pinning them to the yoke. So I'm going to do all of that. Then I'll show you before I put all that together by sewing it. Okay, I did the basting stitches on all of the little side skirt pieces. Okay, so now what I have to do is join it to the yoke. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these pieces right sides together. So I've actually also marked the pieces. I've done a little marking in general. I've put tape for the right sides, and with a little piece of chalk I marked the middle of the skirt piece, and I marked the middle of the yoke. So that's going to help me pair it up. So I'm going to lay this down, and I'm going to take the yoke, and everything's going to be right sides together. Okay. Step number 1, make them right sides together. Okay. And so I'm going to do the little yoke and pin it. Gonna pin her right up in the middle. This is a good opportunity, or this is a good example of when I would use pins instead of clips. Anyways, so if you notice, the yoke is like this big, and then I have about this much skirt for this side, for this half, and then same thing here, this much skirt and this yoke. And so what I'm going to do now is use those little gathering lines and gather this all up so that I can make this half of the skirt match this half of the yoke. So it's all just going to go, but it makes it a little more even. So I'm not just like making a guess of where the gather should go. I know that the gathers need to go for half and then for the other half. And then I need to do that for all of the other skirt pieces and yoke pieces. So basically I'm going to repeat that 4 times. I'll show you how I do it now. Okay, I have gathered all of the skirt panels, and so they look like this. See, this is one panel. So I have 4 of these panels. On this side, I haven't actually sewn them down yet, but that's what it looks like. You can see the yoke. So what I have to do now is sew them down at a 1 centimeter seam allowance, and then finish the seam, or finish the edge, and then iron it down. So I'm going to do that for all of them, and that would mean that they're all prepped and ready to be sewn together. That took a little bit longer than expected. I sewed everything down, serged it so it looks really nice, but what took me so long was that I had those little gathering stitches, right, that like I used to gather, and I had to take them out, and that usually doesn't take me that long because I'm like, boop, whatever, right? But because I have this like embroidery fabric, it was just like getting stuck in the embroidery, and I couldn't like always tell because it's white thread where the embroidery started, and I didn't want to cut into it, so it took me a really long time to pick through all of the gathering stitches and get them out of the skirt, but it's done now. So I'm going to stop there for tonight. Tomorrow, the first thing that I'm going to do is finish the sides of the skirt. So I'm going to finish all of the sides of the skirt, and then I'm going to attach it, make the elastic casing, insert the elastic, and then that's it, hem it. And that's really going to be the skirt. So it's pretty easy. It actually, in the collection of all the things that I'm going to be doing, is probably a skirt I can get done in under 4 hours. It's just that I'm kind of like spacing things out and breaking them up into several days because I only really sew after work. But anyways, not a very long process at all, and we'll finish this tomorrow. Another day, another man testing my patience. Like, I had a crummy day at work today. I feel like I need to like meditate and do my little like noticings of all the different things around me, like my therapist says. But I'm gonna sew because it's after work, and I know that that's gonna help me. So let's do it. Let's just forget about the crummy day and let's get into sewing. This has been the funniest little project in that way of like, there's been a bunch of stuff happening and I'm just like, just sew, like just get it, whatever. So anyway, I went ahead and took out all of the basting stitches of these panels. So I have all of my panels. This is where I ended yesterday. And so this is actually pretty simple. What I'm going to do next is attach the panels to one another. And I'm going to create sort of like one long strip of panels. And once everything is attached, but it's still open, I'm going to serge all the sides and iron them down to the correct side. And then I'm pretty sure that after that, I make the casing. So I'll make the casing and then I close the skirt. So yeah, we're almost done. I'm gonna finish this for sure today. This is like almost done. The question is whether or not I will get into the top. I think so. I think I'll have time. But yeah, anyways, we'll see. I will see how in the zone I get. And then I'll try to forget the day that I had today. All right, let's do it. Okay, I feel like where my intrusive thoughts might win today is that I'm not really sure what top I should make because, like I mentioned, I kind of wanted to make this kind of princess seam bodice top situation just to practice my bodice top. But then I put this on today when I was getting dressed, and it's like the elastic top version of the dress that I made a couple weeks ago. I actually have a tutorial on my channel on how to make that dress. So this is the top version. I mentioned in that video that I actually have this top in several colors. This is it in white. And I have it in black, and I always reach for them. Like, they're so, to me, versatile. They're very snatched. Like, I think that they look really cute. And I could see it, like, looking really cute in this fabric. The thing is that you want to be able to see the embroidery. Like, you really wouldn't be able to see that as much, but it would be kind of matching and cute. And I already know how to make that top, and it's just like a fast, easy little sewing win. It also, again, looks really cute. Like, every time I wear this top, I get compliments on it, and people ask me where I got it, but it's very simple, right? It's like not something that takes away from you. You still have to like style it. But anyways, I'm gonna think about that while I make the skirt and then decide what it is that I want to do. We have skirt. Yay! Okay, well, obviously we're not done yet, but we're almost there. So this needs to be studied, which is my hem. Like, I don't know why. Okay, so here we start, right? It is like even, okay, pretty even, even. Oh, what is that? What is that? What is that? Why? Why do I do that? Like, all the other pieces are exactly the same. I feel like I struggle with the hems, like, mess. But anyways, the serger is my best friend, and I'm just going to even it out, and it's going to be fun. So one thing I did want to point out is, why do we iron down every seam that we sew? You don't have to do it all at once. Like, you could be like, oh, I'm going to sew all the panels down just like I did, and then I went and took it to my iron and sewed it down. Well, it's because it helps you with, like, all of the different attachment pieces as well. So, for example, for this skirt right here, we have the intersection of, like, 4 different things that were attached, right? The yoke was attached to the skirt, and then 2 full skirt pieces were attached to each other. You see? So when I, like, had to go ahead and, like, attach it, it fit perfectly. It was, like, perfectly boop. But because it was ironed, I didn't have any trouble attaching that. I didn't have any trouble sewing it down. It didn't get crooked. So the sewing allowed for this to be all nice and flat as I was stitching. Okay, so that's a hard lesson to learn for those of you who are beginners. You have to sew. Like, I know, I denied my destiny too. I was like, nah, other people have to sew. Other people have to iron. I don't have to iron. But you can't deny your destiny, and you have to iron. You do. So, okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix the hem. I'm just going to go ahead and serge it, make it all one piece, and then I'm going to make the casing for the elastic, and then I'll show you where I'm at. I think my dogs just tricked me into feeding them twice because I don't usually feed them, so my husband usually feeds them, and then yeah, but he left, and so before he left, he was like, "Oh, I got new dog food. Like, I'm good. Like, so you can feed the dogs while I'm gone." And then I was talking on the phone with my sister, so I wasn't really paying attention. He was like signaling something to me when he left about food, and I was like, "Yeah, like I'll feed them." But I think maybe he was saying he already fed them, because when I went to go look at the food, it was already open, but then I like had second doubts because they were like looking at me like they hadn't eaten in weeks, and so I was like, all right, let me just feed them again. But now I'm thinking, I'm like, no way, they already ate. Ricky's on a diet, which is why, because he has hip issues. But anyway, so I finished the skirt, yay, casing, so it's almost done. I left a 2 sort of like, or like an 1.5 inch little gap. And so now I'm just gonna measure my elastic on my waist and then insert it into sew it. Insert it and then sew it. And yeah, that will be that. Oh wait, no, I have to hem it. Okay, so I'm going to do those 3 things. I'm going to measure my elastic. I'm going to insert the elastic, finish it, and then I'm going to hem the skirt. And then I will be done with the skirt. So yeah, exciting stuff. Okay, it's done. I'm so excited. It's so cute. Hold on, let me show you. So you can kind of see. The mirror I have to put up. Okay, so you can kind of see. And this is kind of why it's called like the Sandy Liang hack, because it's got these like cute little moments around. I mean, obviously it would be more like Sandy Liang if I could put like a waistband in and a zipper, but for a lazy girl Sandy Liang hack, it's super cute. Now the one thing though is that it is like super long. I don't know why. Let me see if I can get on this bench and show you. Hold on, this is probably a bad idea. Okay, I'll do it like that. It's like super long. It's like hitting pretty much below my ankle. I don't know how this happened. I probably hemmed it too short, and maybe the last time I made it I was trying to give it like a thicker hem and I forgot. I don't know. So I'm gonna hem this probably by like whatever that is, about that much, and that will be cute because I like my skirts to be a little more midi so they don't look so like evangelical. Is that like politically incorrect? But I just don't want it to look too conservative. So anyways, but then I did try it on with this top, and I think this top is so cute. But again, I already have the top, so I feel like it looks cute with this white top because it's got that white little thread. But I don't think you would really be able to tell that it's the same fabric if I did it in this style, because it would be a little too ruched. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna go with the original plan, and I am going to, yeah, I'm gonna make a bodice top. Okay, we're like already in trouble. We're already in trouble. I am like, what are these pieces? Like, I haven't seen them in a while, I guess. So hold on, let me show you. It's just so, okay, so like what I'm not understanding is, so this is the back. This is what I took from Lydia Naomi. So if you go see her video, which I linked in the bio, you'll see she'll walk you how to do this. So this is the back. I'm like, cool, cute, done. This is the bodice, right? But like, I don't know why I Frankensteined it in this way. Like, I don't know what is she trying to say? What is she trying to communicate? I think maybe I used it for something else. I can't remember. So anyways, this is the center. So you cut this one in the fold, and that's like what the center is. And these are the side pieces. So I know I need 2 of these, 1 for each side, and I only need 1 of these for the middle, but I'm not sure. So I'm looking at this. So this is the fabric, and it's a little thin. I feel like it could maybe afford a little lining, but I'm feeling a little lazy. What do you think I should do? Should I line it? So if I line it, then I would need 4 of these and then 2 of these, but then I'm like not even sure how to line it. Like, do I line each piece first and then construct it, or do I just like, I'm not gonna line it. I can't be bothered. I know that the back has to have a lining though, because you need to insert elastic, so you need a back lining, and it always looks better when it's lined. Like, it does always look a little more like expensive and stuff. That's just like the truth. So all right, whatever, I'm gonna line it. So God, famous last words. I'm not gonna line it in this fabric because I don't have enough, I don't think. I mean, I'll see if I have enough, so I can just like not have all those scraps, but if I don't, I have some sheets or whatever somewhere that I can just use for lining. But anyway, this is the back, this is the front. So I'm gonna be cutting out 2 of the good fabric in this one, 1 in the good fabric, and then 2 in the lining fabric, and then 1 in the lining fabric. So I need 2 of these and 4 of these.
And all right, let's do it. We're gonna do it. Okay, we're back. We're back. I have all my pieces here for the bodice. I went ahead and also cut a piece of lining for each of these. It's very light lining. I'm hoping it will reduce the bulk. It's like a very light white cotton. I'm going to, okay, so I've actually done something similar before where I lined the pieces for a corset that I did. And I learned a lot because what I did that time is I tried to like individually line every piece and turn it upside down. So I did like right sides together for the lining and the main and then flips it upside down. But it created so much bulk. I'm not doing that. So what I'm going to do now instead is I'm going to do like a 1/4 inch like seam allowance all the way around and just even it out. And that's just to unite the pieces. So I'm going to just do that to like make it just one piece. So I'm going to do that to each individual piece. And then I'm just going to construct the bodice as usual. So again, I'm just going to go through, make it, this is only for the front, by the way. So for the front, I'm going to do that. The back has like a whole different construction method because that is like the Lydia Naomi method or whatever. I did link the video, so you can take a look at that. So the back I'm going to do a little bit differently because they have their own method for like the lining and stuff. But for the front, I'm going to like sew a very thin line across and then construct the bodice as normal. And again, like I mentioned, I'm going to do a little bit of a loop at the front and do a little elastic there. We'll see how that kind of turns out. We'll get there. But yeah, I'm going to construct the back first because it's just a little more accessible to me right now because I've done it before. That's the front. Okay, that's the top. And then this is the back. So I'm going to do the back. I'm just going to follow, again, Lydia Naomi's tutorial. And then I'll come back and show it to you. And then we'll construct the front together. Cool. Really cute. I finished the back. Can you see it there? So this is like the shirring. I'll show you from the back actually because you can see it better on the lining side. But you can see all of the elastic channels. And this is the back part now. So this is going to be nice and snatched. And so now I'm going to do the front bodice. I'm going to attach it. And so again, I'm just doing this so that I can avoid using a zipper, which is my favorite thing to do, is avoiding zippers. Okay, so this is done. It's all nice and clean. I serged it. Thank you, Miss Lydia, for this hack, which I have not let go of since I first saw it. I actually, again, I'm using this sort of top as a practice for when I want to make a more formal gown for this like event that I have for work in September. And I'm like still sort of in between of like, am I gonna do a zipper for that? Because I want to do sort of like an off the shoulder situation, and I don't think that, and it's a black fabric, so I don't think that it will be that visible in the back if I use this. And it's just so much easier, and it's like a foolproof way, right? Because zippers, you never know. But I'm also like, maybe I should just like get over my fear, put a zipper into the other one. I don't know. I'm in two worlds. But anyway, a later me problem. This is done. I'm going to go ahead and do what I told you all earlier, which is like attach the lining to the main pieces of the bodice. And then I'm going to construct that. And again, this is made to my measurement because my teacher made it. Okay, so I also linked in the bio or in the description of this video a blog that you can see that helped me kind of understand the pieces of my sloper a little bit better. So I put that in there in case you wanted to make your own. Okay, so, and then that will leave kind of once I construct the front, you'll see it will leave a raw edge. But again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just serge it, and then I'm going to fold it over and put a little elastic for that extra little, okay? So this should be hopefully not so lengthy in the process. We'll see. Yep. All right, everybody, it's the next day, and here's where we are at. So I've got the back piece with the little elastic all ready and prepped, lined. Boom. I finished the front bodice, which is looking really cute. I didn't know what to do here because I was like of two minds. I was like, I could like serge it like serge the seam on both sides and then just like iron it open so that the seam is open on both sides. I've seen that on some princess bodices, but then it like didn't line up here that way. Like it would be like sticking out in a way. I don't know. I could have just cut it, but whatever. So I did it this way where I serged it and I just like ironed it to one side and then I like serged it closed. So it's still feeling good. I tried it on over like, you know, just like to try to see that it fits my like body, and it does. So excited for that. Okay, so all I have to do left, all I have left to do is like do a channel here, like do a little elastic channel. Fold it over, you know. Then insert the elastic, and once I do that, this will be ready to be joined to this. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to finish this piece, put the elastic in, like, you know, sew it in so it closed, and then I'm going to attach these two things, and then that's it. We're done with the bodice. Oh, nope, gotta hem it. Gotta hem the whole thing, but I'm going to wait to do that because I want to make sure that these match up, and if not, I'm going to use my serger. All right, let's do it. I didn't show you on the machine because I forgot, but I put the elastic in. So I just put like a very thin elastic, thinner than I used here. And it's just to give it like a little something at the top, but also to finish it. I feel like obviously later on, if I do this again, I might do like a better finish, but I did feel that last time I did this, it helped. It was just kind of like a little tighter at the top, so it wasn't kind of open. There's probably a different way to do this, or a better way. Maybe if you inserted some sleeves, but I'm, again, just doing a strapless situation. So anyways, that's done. And so right sides together, sew it down, hem it, and then we're actually really done. All right, everybody, that's it. We finished the skirt, we finished the top, and so now all I have left to do is show you the complete look. I'm going to style it a little bit because I do kind of feel like when I make my own DIY kind of sets, they can look a little flat. I've been working on that. I'm not so much of a stylist myself, but my sister is, and she is really cool, and so she helped me sort of like put this little outfit together, but she's also been helping me, you know, like add texture and all the different stuff. So maybe I'll make another video of some of the tips that she's given me. But yeah, let me show you how this turned out, and you know, let me know if you end up making your own little bodice top, your own little Henrietta set. I'd be excited to see it. So if you have a sewing Instagram, actually add it below so I can follow you. I'm always looking for other sewing Instagrams to follow. And if you made it this far, you know, like and subscribe, it really helps. And I'll see you all in the next video.